We have had some kind of reports of hearing those kind of loud cracks and booms.
If you're hearing some loud cracks or booms you can't put your finger on, it might be something called a cryoseism or frost quake.
When the ground is soaked by water from a heavy rainfall or melting snow, and this water seeps deep into the ground.
Environment Canada explaining this phenomenon tends to happen during the winter when you get that roller coaster between warm and freezing, allowing snow to melt, seep into the soil, and then freeze again, breaking the soil as the frozen water runs out of space to expand. You can even find some examples floating around online. Meanwhile, Marika Adams, a seismologist with Natural Resources Canada, says while they can be startling, they're mostly harmless.
So these don't generally cause any damage. However, sometimes if you have enough of the water that's seeped into maybe some near surface, like it's right near the surface, right? So maybe into some roads, if there's like large cracks in the road, the water can seep into there. Then that as it expands, it can kind of cause some cracks in that sense.
It sounds like there also might be a little bit of a time of day element here, morning, night kind of a thing.
Yes, exactly. So these generally occur in kind of the night and to the very early mornings. That's when it's going to be coolest during the day.
In terms of the loudness, the intensity, talked about these things happening in the night. Is this the kind of thing where you're going to hear it and you're going to wonder, what was that? Or is this the kind of thing that might wake you up from your sleep?
It can be both. Some of them can be quite loud, especially if you're very close to where it happened. It might wake you up in the middle of the night.
Is this a case of if you hear one, it's probably 20 feet below you, or it's probably like 700 feet below you?
Definitely in the tens of feet around you. Yeah.
Any sense on where we've heard these so far this year in the GTA, other regions across Ontario, any sort of epicenters this year?
Yeah, so we've had some reports of people hearing these kind of along Lake Ontario. So again, like near the lakefront there. And we've heard some here in Ottawa too. You can have it occurring in lots of different areas, but it often occurs around kind of like lakefronts or riverfronts where you get all that water that can soak in.
But if you think you've heard one of the unfortunate things is it's hard to know for sure.
So they are difficult to measure because they don't kind of create those widespread shaking or kind of seismic waves that we measure like earthquakes do.
For City News, I'm David Zura.